everybody, welcome back to PathMonk Presents. PathMonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathMonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding PathMonk to your website in seconds, letting the artificial intelligence do all the work, and increase conversions while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to PathMonk Presents. We're really looking forward to today's conversation because we've got Kevin Watkins, the founder and creative director over at Farewell. Kevin, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing quite well. Thanks for asking. So we're really looking forward to chatting about your agency, all the different types of work you guys do for your clients, and really getting into the nuts and bolts about everything that you guys provide over there. But before we do so, why don't you give our audience just a little bit of a wider statement about who you guys are and who you support?
Yeah, so we are a website agency over in Bend, Oregon, in the United States, and we both create, manage, and grow websites for a variety of clients. But mostly these days, we're working in the kind of outdoor rec and sustainability fields. So yeah, that's been both rewarding and fun, and yeah, just doing our best to keep our clients ahead of the digital curve as it's
Awesome.
moving pretty fast.
Yeah, it definitely is. Every single day, I feel like I'm seeing some sort of update. So,
Mm.
why don't you give our audience a little bit of a background about what sort of specific services do you guys offer to your clients? And you also mentioned you work in some specific verticals. Why don't you talk a little bit about those verticals and the services that you're providing?
Yeah, so at the core of it all, it's website design, which is kind of a catch-all term for much more than design.
Mhm.
So it's design, development, copywriting, SEO, strategy, integrating third-party tools. So with the organizations we work with, if they have like a membership base, we'll help them set up the member login and member management tools. So yeah, a lot goes into it. Um, and yeah, we initially started out as like a WordPress development agency, and in 2020 we shifted to Webflow. So
Mhm.
we're now a Webflow partner and create Webflow websites. And yeah, at this point, we're also looking into creating more web apps as we grow, and the technology just allows us to do more with less. So yeah, we're
Awesome. I have been seeing that more and more websites have been moving towards Webflow. It seems to be gaining a little bit more popularity. Like for such a long time, it seemed like WordPress was kind of like the go-to, number one lead generation type content management system out there. What have you seen in terms of Webflow kind of gaining more popularity recently?
yeah, I mean, it's been around for 12 years, so it's a mature in the terms of the web world
Hmm.
company.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, just WordPress, it's been around for a long time, and it's always going to hold a big market share, just being what people built on when the web was getting going. And um, yeah, I think Webflow and kind of other competitors even are starting to take chunks of that market. And yeah, we really like Webflow because it's both secure and fast, and yeah, it's less code, and also they're just rolling out crazy new features like every week. Where I think WordPress is now, it's a bigger ship to steer, so it's a little harder for them to maybe keep up. So yeah, just like they just released translation services, so you can translate a whole site into a different language using
Whoa.
AI. And I mean, I think we did like a 30-page site in about a hour or two.
Geez, that's crazy.
Yeah,
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 that's definitely an advantage. I know WordPress, as awesome as it is, and as much of a market share as they do have, you're right. It's such a large ship. It's hard to kind of be dynamic, and it's kind of difficult for them to provide new sort of changes when they've got so many customers on, a platform like theirs. So that's a really interesting
right.
perspective. So going back to your audience, maybe you can talk. about what are some of the typical problems that you're solving for your audience. It definitely sounds like you're doing both the web design and development side of things, but also digital marketing. Are there any typical problems that clients are coming to you with that you handle on a more frequent basis?
Yeah, I mean, the the user experience and user journey, overall, like how does somebody who's interested in joining like an outdoor alliance get to the site, log in, and you know interact with the resources and events and things that they offer to their community. So, kind of right now, there's a lot of uh, friction for people to use these sites, especially like ones from 5 years ago.
Mm,
So we help them get up to date with the latest tools and tech stack. So their users, and a lot of times the companies we work with, like chambers and associations, their users are also members, just
mm.
making that workflow seamless. And then on the other side of it, also empowering their management team, the executive directors, the marketing teams to be able to update the site more easily. So that, is a big advantage of why we went to Webflow. And yeah, it's just really easy for our clients to manage, and it doesn't break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
we're
it
trying.
sounds like
Yeah.
kind of enabling these groups to be a little bit more hands-on and be able to kind of control their own destiny. Whereas with a lot of these older systems, they might have been kind of out of date and they didn't have the capabilities of doing this type of thing in-house. So they kind of needed a little bit of extra help. So yeah, kind of
Mhm.
enabling this industry or this community to be able to kind of move forward into 2025, 2026.
Right. Yeah, we say a lot. We want to like empower the marketing team to do more with less, especially in the nonprofit space. Like they're often shorthanded and are juggling a lot of different tasks. So just making their website one less thing to worry about is kind of like our goal. And
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good point. Take one thing off their plate for sure. So, moving on, I want to talk about how your audience typically finds you. Are there any sort of top acquisition channels? It sounds like within the industry that you're in, I would imagine there's a pretty decent amount of kind of like word of mouth going on.
Mhm.
But maybe you can talk about, are you guys driving more leads from an SEO perspective, paid advertisement, word of mouth? How do your current clients find out about you?
Yeah. So I mean the best path is always the referral based path. So we've been around for a number of years now. I started in 2016, just kind of nights and weekends, and did it on the side for a bit and went full time in 2020. Um, so yeah, we've done work with a number of people locally. So um, just doing good work and having a good reputation gets you pretty far, especially in a world where developers are, yeah, kind of notoriously bad at communicating. And there's like this whole conspiracy, like they all disappear, it seems. I have so many clients that come to me and they're like, yeah, my developer's ghosted me. He's just gone. And we haven't heard from him.
Yeah,
So,
you're not
yeah,
the first to say that for sure.
yeah,
I've definitely heard of a few of those cases as well.
right. So,
Um,
yeah, it's that'll always be our strongest source of leads, just picking up the phone and calling people back. Um, yeah, and customer service. But yeah, as we've grown, obviously we do SEO on our websites, so we do get a good amount of leads from our organic search, and we've made getting reviews, top priority. So we're well over 100 reviews now on Google.
well,
Um, yeah, and I think when I started, that was like a goal. I looked at web design in Bend, Oregon, saw the agency with the highest reviews and just made it a point to pass that. So I think we're like 4x the next person in town, at least.
that's really, really smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, seeing that in the map really helps with organic search. But yeah, I mean, the landscape is changing rapidly. And, I don't want to say SEO is dead, but the game is changing. So yeah, we're now shifting to a more balanced approach. We're getting into paid ads and making sure that both the paid and the organic traffic we're getting converts. Like that's a big focus. So yeah, we're starting to use PathBunk right now to kind of see, A/B test um, the different like call to actions and things that PathBunk can do for us to convert those users into hopefully clients.
Yes, sounds good. And we're looking forward to helping you with that. So I want to move the conversation a little bit away from farewell and a little bit more into Kevin as the marketing professional. So some questions that are a little bit more specific about you. Maybe you can tell us, what does a typical day-to-day look like for you? Like, what are some of the tasks that you're most frequently focused on?
Yeah, we're a small team of 10 still. So yeah, we wear a lot of hats. So every day is wildly different. But the things that are on my list to do, yeah, stay up to date on the latest tools and trends. Um, I mean, yeah, just watching YouTube is like
Mhm.
a big part of my job, which is, you know, fun. Yeah, looking for opportunities to bring these new tools and new innovations to our clients. That's probably my top priority right now. Yeah, I've been out of my client has removed me, or my team has removed me from client work, probably almost about 2 years. So yeah, just kind of leading the team, and then marketing and sales. Like at our size, now I'm the marketing and sales
And it
person.
seems like probably identifying where there's some opportunities for providing more value to your clients, right? So like, yeah, testing out PathMonk. I'm sure there's some other tools that you've probably tested out as well. And you're always looking to kind of
Yep.
understand like how are things shifting and what are some new tools that we might be able to offer to our clients. So kind of always keeping your eye on the horizon about like what's coming next, it sounds like.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. In that marketing and sales, like we're also looking like how can we differentiate from a, you know, growing market in web design and websites and app development. Like the barrier to entry is lower and lower every day with these new tools. So
Mhm.
just making sure we're staying a few steps ahead. Um, and often, the businesses we work with, they don't have the time to watch YouTube all day. They've got like organizations
Right.
to run.
Right.
So yeah, as long as we're adapting to different things, then I think we'll be fine.
Yeah,
So
smart.
yeah, right now like A/B testing, optimization, um, paid ads. Yeah, as the website landscape shifts, just making sure the visitors they are getting the most. We're doing the best we can to convert them to our clients' goals.
Yeah, makes sense. I also wanted to talk kind of a good transition because you mentioned kind of like all keeping an eye on YouTube, trying to keep an eye out for like what new tools are out there and how can you stay up to date. But in terms of just kind of growing as an individual and also as a founder of an agency like Farewell, where are some of the other places that you go to try to, stay up to date and try to understand, how can you and your business always be growing? Are there any places outside, maybe like, I'm sure LinkedIn, maybe
Mhm.
things like maybe some books or some other podcasts that you listen to? Are there any other sort of media channels that you're constantly going to try to improve upon yourself?
Yep, a lot of podcasts. Yeah, to and from work, listen to podcasts or audiobooks. So yeah, podcasts, books, um, yeah, different newsletters and blogs that are kind of curating things for you because there's a lot to follow. So if you can find a few good newsletters that provide value, that's really helpful too. Um, yeah, just all those different channels and yeah, also kind of spreading it and not just doing all digital web stuff, but learning leadership skills, team building skills, um, making sure we're a great place to work so we can hire and keep talent and uh, build culture too. So yeah, it's not all just nerdy stuff. It's
Yeah, digital, digital, digital. Yeah, sometimes you gotta spread your wings and go into some different areas as well. I've definitely heard of some folks utilizing, different communities, whether it be on LinkedIn, A lot of people use some of these publicly available Slack channels where they can
Yep.
chat with other individuals in other organizations that might have some feedback or some knowledge on some things that you might not know about. Some other folks have mentioned Reddit as a great place because you
Mhm.
can always go find some answers about a question that maybe you don't have the answer to right now, but there's probably someone out there on the web that has run into the same problem before. So, yeah, are these some of the channels that you've utilized in the past as well?
Slack channels. Yeah, I'm in too many Slack channels. But yeah, those communities are great as well. And then the Webflow community's been really good. Um, yeah, they're pretty active on Twitter and YouTube. Um, so yeah, those are great resources. And yeah, I try to go to the Webflow conference every year, so that's great to kind of do those. And I think that's probably our next step is looking to um, yeah, go to different conferences and meet people around the world that way.
Yeah, face to face, getting back to it. So I want to move this conversation into kind of like the final stages of the call. It's going to be kind of like the rapid fire round where we're not necessarily going to be asking questions that are specifically about Farewell or about Kevin as an individual, but more thought-provoking questions that are meant to kind of have some fun before we wrap up the call.
Cool.
So the first one that I'll ask, nice and easy one. What's the last book that you read?
The last book I completed was called Pick Up the Phone and Sell. So as I've moved into more of a sales role and being a designer and developer and not a salesperson by trade or by personality, yeah, it's been a new skill. So that book I'd highly recommend is just talking about like how people underutilize the phone as a selling tool, and most people it talks about proactive calling. So not just calling when something is wrong, but just calling to check in with current clients and past clients. And yeah, that's been honestly, yeah, one of my favorite books and systems in the last few years.
I would 100% agree with the idea of just pick up the phone and call. I haven't read the book myself. I'll probably add it to my list for sure.
Mm,
But yeah, the idea that not a lot of people do that anymore. Email, maybe send some sort of a message across some sort of communication channel, whatever it might be. Um, yeah, people don't really utilize the phone as much nowadays. And if you get someone at the right time, you can get all the information and all the answers you need right then and there. So I really
mm.
agree. Just pick up the phone and call. Okay, next one. If there were no boundaries in technology, and I mean like snap your finger and anything is possible, total magic, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Oof. Um, Probably something to help with educating our clients about the things that I'm learning. Um, yeah, as we learn all these new tools, I've got a lot of things in my head and a lot of ideas, but yeah, something to help communicate that both to my team as I find new things and also vice versa as they find new things. So communicating, figuring out a way to easily communicate our learnings to others. Yeah,
That
like
would be a really good answer. Snap your fingers and all the information you have in your brain is already in someone else's brain. Like that would be perfect. But
right, yeah, yeah. I mean, even if it's like yeah, just yeah, the AI bot that's like asking you questions or yeah, there's something there. Yeah, maybe
give AI 2 or 3 more years, there's probably going to be a solution for something like this.
right.
Okay, next one. If there was one repetitive task that you could automate, and out of, I'm sure there are a lot of different, tasks that you wish you could automate. What would be
Mhm.
the one that you would want to have automated for your role?
Checking my email. Yeah.
And kind of going through and figuring out like, what do I actually need to respond to? What's kind of urgent? What's top priority? Maybe give me a little bit more information.
Yeah, just sorting through it, knowing what's important, what's timely, what can be delegated, and one step further, just do the delegation as
Yeah.
well. Um,
May-
yeah. So
There's
there's a
probably
tool.
some sort of solution out there for that, I would imagine.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll give a plug to this email tool I'm using right now. I'm using a Superhuman. It connects to my Google account, and um, yeah, it's got like a AI feature they just released where you can ask it like a question. So this morning, as I was prepping for our call, um, instead of searching for the email, I just opened like the search and said, what were the questions Kevin wanted me to cover during the call?" And it brought up brought that up without having to like comb through emails. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
perfect. Yeah, I'm really interested in that. And we're always looking for new AI technologies ourselves here at Pathmark. I'll definitely be checking that one out for sure. If there's some sort of way to trial it, 100% that's something I'd be interested in.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. I think there's a free version. So
And this is the type of conversation that our audience is looking to find out about new tools, new tricks, new tips like this. So yeah, that's
yep.
an awesome plug right there. Okay, so the last question before we wrap things up. What is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Oh man, that is a really good one. Probably I probably want to like start a journal. On like things move so fast. Yeah, that'd be nice to kind of like have that. I know people do that a lot. But yeah, having kind of that point in time where you can go back and just see how much progress you've made. My wife keeps a journal every day. She writes a little note, and that's always really fun, like, especially with young kids, going back and seeing what happened like on this day 2 years ago. Because yeah, things change fast, so it's nice to just
I totally agree from a sentimental perspective. I also agree from a work perspective because nowadays, like you said, things move so fast, right? And there might be one day where you learn like a really valuable lesson, but you're so busy. The next day, you've already moved on to something else, right? And if you
Mhm.
could take the time to kind of go back into this journal and remember, oh, yeah, that was really important. I should spend a little bit more time like doing this or, figuring that
Mhm.
out. Yeah, maybe this is something we don't do enough because, nowadays in 2025, we're all moving so fast and we're constantly going forward, right? Being able to take a step back and go backwards and take a look back in time. Yeah, this is a really good answer that I don't think a lot of people answer on this call. A lot of people say, "Oh, be more assertive," or get out there earlier, or things like this. And a lot of the answers I typically get on this show are people kind of thinking about how they could get started earlier or get seeing
Yeah.
success faster. And I think what you're saying is actually take a step back, which is a really unique perspective. So I think that's an
Yeah.
awesome answer. So
Yeah.
Kevin, we're wrapping up, and I just want to say thank you very much for joining the show today. We really enjoyed having you on. But before we wrap things up, why don't you give our audience just one more plug about Farewell? Just tell us about the company and how they can find you.
Yeah. Our website is heyfarewell.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, Kevin Watkins, is Farewell. Um, yeah, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn or visit our site and see some of the things we're building, that would be the best place. And yeah, always happy to connect with other marketers. And yeah, there's really no such thing as competition in my eyes. So I like connecting with other creatives and have found a lot of value from just picking up the phone and saying, "Hey," or jumping on a video call in a lot of cases.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. All right.